Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with Sgt Paul Askedall. This is your
That is
second
my
book?
my basic training journal. Yeah, that I wrote during basic. That's my second book.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
so you wrote this during basic.
During basic. Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys have time to write?
Not really. I did it. I did it after mail call, right in that twilight before lights out.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then even sometimes during lights out, I wrote.
Okay. So
Yeah.
and you went to, I went through basic training for the Air Force in 2012. You went through boot camp in the Army what year?
2010.
Oh yeah, you did
Yeah, it was cold in South Carolina. I went January, February, March.
you say it was cold in South Carolina?
It
How
was
cold is
very
it?
cold. It
How
was
cold is
very cold. Oh, how cold? I can't really say temperatures. I'm sure it was like near zero or at zero, but in the early mornings, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when we had to wake up and do PT. We had a PT test and everyone was dying because everyone was, sucking wind and it was so cold.
it?
So we weren't stretched enough, to do the push-ups and the sit-ups, and everyone was just losing, not meeting their minimum. It sucked.
Yeah. I could imagine. I mean, push-ups and sit-ups might not have been so bad, but yeah, running in that cold, like even if you're just, I've noticed that in extreme temperatures, it hurts your lungs. Where I'm in like a
It,
sauna,
it's
or
horrible. Yeah.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
feels so bad.
Yeah. The cold, it like stings, just stabs at your lungs and your nostrils. You're just done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I I was in Texas for mine, and mine I was
Okay.
in December through January. It was
Uh-huh.
ours only like 8 weeks, so it's not terrible. So December. I graduated I think February like 13th, like
Okay.
right before Valentine's Day. I
Nice.
went in like
Right
a week before
before.
Christmas, so like there's all the TIs that and we were only there for like not even a week because we,
Hmm.
we we got there like December 18th, 19th, whatever. On Christmas Day, the TI is just like, listen, um, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna spend time. Like, I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna spend time with family. Like, any of y'all do anything stupid, like I'll recycle all of you. Like, yeah, the knife hand
The
and just like,
knife hand. Yeah. Listen up, you pukes. Yeah.
so we were pretty good. We did yeah, we just chilled.
Nice.
Um,
I was lucky. I got exactly what I wanted so far, right? My recruiter didn't lie to his recruiter didn't lie to him, and in turn he didn't lie to me. He's like, "Hey, let me know exactly what you want. I will give you exactly what you want," right? So I got 25 uniform, which is communication specialist, and it was either that or like 60 whiskey, which is medic. And I like medical. I try and stay up to date with all my medical training, right? T
oh,
triple
good.
C, CLS, all that stuff. But that's just not the job, the profession. So I chose communications. But I digress. Anyway, I was able to leave later. So 2009 October, I talked to a recruiter, and he told me the same thing. And then I was like, hey, can I leave in January? I want to, say bye to friends and family and let them know I'm going. And he's like, yeah, cool, no problem. So I was on the DEP program, delayed entry program.
Yeah, I was in that too.
And yeah, yeah. And I was able to leave after all the holidays, after New Year's, spend time with friends and family. So that was great. I was grateful for
Oh, good for you. I had kind of
that.
the opposite. So my recruiter lied to me like nobody's business. He was just, I was just a number.
Typical.
Yeah,
Typical, yeah.
and it was weird. Like he did, like I feel like he didn't like me up until I'm so. There's this other guy Patrick that I went to school with, and he happened to be black. He was mixed. He was half white, half black. And my recruiter,
Yeah.
like I feel like only really liked black, and everyone else is just like not up to his
You're very
standards.
biased, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
until I mentioned that I went to because I saw his name on his list. I was like,
Uh,
oh, I went to school with him. He's like, oh, you know Patrick, and suddenly he liked me. It
nice.
was so
It was the
crazy.
only saving grace, right?
Yeah, I think that's like the only reason I was gonna. Oh, it also could have been because I was from Peru and like I had zero documentation of like my birth. And he's like, you need to get like a birth certificate. I was like, sir, I was born in like a room with no roof. Like there's zero documentation. So I imagine he was getting very frustrated with me. And at one point he's like, I'm just about to not let you go because this is like insane.
Oh, man.
The amount of work that he had to do. So he told me, and this made sense. He said, if you do well on your ASVAB, like for those of you listening, it's the test that we take so that we know what we can qualify for and what we can't.
Where we can place, in the branch, what branch that you're doing,
Yeah. And he says, if you do well on that and you go into the Air Force's open general, they will give you a job based on your score. Like they're not going to put you in a low score position if you
Infantry.
go.
No. The Army.
So I wouldn't get like battlefield airman or anything. Like I would get something, in like whatever it was, like language, which I really wanted. Okay. So I got like a 89, which is like pretty good. And then I go in open general, and then I get to in basic training, and they say I'm 2T2. I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, sir, what is that? He's like, you are going to be driving a forklift and like a bus and like other vehicles. I was like, really? Because like my recruiter said, and he's like, I don't give a damn what your recruiter said.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, yes, sir.
Yes, Girl Sergeant.
Yeah, and I had like the opposite. So I was because I guess so many people were trying to join at that time. They like didn't have anything. Like they were trying to save me from an intelligence job. Be like, yeah, if their intelligence job comes up or language job, you can get it. But then after like several months, in 2012 of me just not getting anything, he calls me on like a week before Christmas, and he's like, I have this job. It's open general. And then that's when he told me that, like, do you want to go? I was like, yeah, I know it's not exactly what I want, but I'm thinking I'll get this. So I tell my mom, like, hey,
just send me.
Yeah. I tell my mom, like, hey,
at this point. Yeah.
My mom's like, what about Christmas? Like, well, I've waited too long for this. Like, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
And so it was quite the opposite of yours. But tell me about your MOS. Tell me about your job, communications.
Okay, so I operate, train, and maintain the various radio systems of the Army, right? The SINGARs, the MBITers. SINGARs are the big radios you put in the vehicles, right? Or you can have a man pack configuration. You put in the man pack and you take it with you in the field and stuff, carry it in the backpack. MBITers are the big, long walkie-talkies. You can talk with aviation, all that. And I deal with tactical satellites and all that. So radio systems, but also I deal with the IT portion of communication as well. Connect printers to workstations, run cable, turn off and on ports in the wall, and maintain personnel accounts, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
I had a buddy of mine that has, at least as far as like running wires and setting up Wi-Fi and connect. A buddy of mine does that. Obviously, that's on the civilian side. He's quite large. He would not pass the waist circumference.
Right.
Got demauled
crawl through that little area where you have to get the wire through, right? The cable.
Can't do it. Yeah. So I guess Dean Malden's his son commissions as a second lieutenant in July, and he's going scheduled to go to Kuwait 2023. Kuwait is it depends. I guess it depends where in Kuwait. Ali Al Salem, where I was at, it was hot. I got there in February, which wasn't that bad. But then starting like in April or May, like the sandstorm started, and it was like 100-something degrees. It's
man.
Yeah, it's
horrible. It is absolutely hot. It's so. Can I curse on the podcast?
Yeah.
It is so fucking hot in Kuwait. I cannot stand it, and I'm a guy that likes the cold, right? Yeah. Like I'm half Filipino, half Scandinavian, and that's definitely my Scandinavian side. I love the cold, but Kuwait is ridiculous. So you were there for a sandstorm. Did you see that like epic sandstorm they have in the movies where it, like comes in the huge like 100-foot cloud, maybe like 1,000-foot cloud?
I got to go on like a training mission with these pilots, and they were because they had to load the stuff on, and our job was just passenger services, and they were just like, I don't even know if I could tell the story. But
like confidential or top secret?
No, there is another story that is very confidential but that's a completely different thing. This is more like, I mean, I don't think anyone will get in trouble. I'm not mentioning any names. But they're doing there's like a sandstorm down there. They're just doing a training mission, seeing like, making sure all the center balances are good with this certain thing. And it's like, okay, so just go around, and they're going to land back, and they talk to the tower, and it's like, are we good to land? And tower's like, yeah, if you have visibility, you're good to land. And the pilot's like, yeah, copy that. We're good. And we did not have visibility. Like, it was straight up sand in the faces, like Darude, and I was like, oh my god,
just rattling everywhere.
But he landed it. It was like perfect, and I was like, I don't know how you did that, because I couldn't see 5 feet outside of that thing.
You know what? I have mad respect for pilots. Plane, like rotor wing, fixed wing, doesn't matter. Pilots are the shit. They're amazing. They will do amazing things, amazing feats, just to save lives or get cargo from one place to another. Great respect.
What years and where were you in Kuwait?
2012 to 2013.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I remember that. You were there for like a year, right?
Yeah. We landed in August, and we got to the base August 1. August 1. Yeah. So hot. I'm telling you, I can't emphasize enough. Yeah. And even in the winters, it's still like 115, 110.
Oh, on the daytime.
120. Yeah. And then it maybe drops a few degrees lower in the night, but
what part of Kuwait?
I was at Camp Arifjan, Camp AJ. Okay. Yeah. But being Camo, my section S6, right? We had to go to all the camps just to check their radios and the computers, make sure everything was up to snuff, good to go. So I've been to Buring. I actually had WLC in Buring, Warrior Leader course, which is now basic leader course in the Army. I went there went to Buring for that, and then we also went up to LSA, Ali Al Salim, right? Yeah. And what was the other one? Patriot. I don't remember if Patriot was still around when we went up there, but my unit was tasked, at least my section was tasked with closing down Virginia. I think it was the northernmost camp in Kuwait. We shut that down. I think I still have the hand receipt. 3 full pages of computers, everything Camo, all the peripherals. Yeah, I saved that. I was kind of proud as a specialist, It's like this. Look at this. I made this,
Good.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It was a good time.
I remember there was one day. It was, I forget what day it was, but it actually reached 131 degrees, and it was like the hottest temperature ever recorded. And I was like, oh my god, this is nuts.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
But it was good there because we didn't have to do any like mop gear exercises. Like in South Korea, they do like these exercises where they do normal operations, but in mop gear level 4.
Yeah.
So they're just, they're in a forklift, plus they're in that, and the sun's
just sweating bullets. Yeah.
I actually had I ran into my TI, my training instructor from basic training in Ali Al Salim, and he said when he went to Korea, he was doing like a mop gear, whatever, and I forget, he was security forces. I forget exactly what he was doing, but he said like he had to like take a minute to like sit down because he knew he was gonna pass out.
Yeah.
So he sits in a chair and he goes like this, and nobody, like, he didn't tell anyone. So his battle buddy, they thought that he just like fell asleep. I was like, oh, let's wake him up. So he, that little thing where you can get water in from your gas mask?
Yes.
So they put water in there, and he's like drowning in his mask because like, hey, he's not waking up.
Nice. It's just like cartoons. You see it like rising in the eyes. Just nice.
Well, Mamas, appreciate the support. Thank you, and thank you for the service.
Thank you.
And so where did you? I know you did your boot camp down in South Carolina. Where was the tech school that you went to?
Oh, AIT, Advanced Individual Training. That was in Georgia, just right across the border.
Oh, all right. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, just right there. Yeah, my dad picked me up from there and then drove me to AIT. And then he also picked me up from AIT And this is when I was still living in California at the time. He drove me all the way back to Cali.
Nice.
And so yeah, Georgia in the middle of summer, also hot. Yeah, it was Augusta, Georgia, right by the borderline, and it was a good time. It was a good time. Met some great people that I'm still in touch with today. You know, still good friends with. Learned a lot, and also you know, dealt with some shit. Yeah,
Okay.
as a young PFC.
Yeah.
First class.
I'm glad that you were able to get through all that, get through everything. And my high school was in Fort Lee in Virginia. We're actually in an army base for it, and we had these two polar opposite. So one was staff sergeant, one was tech sergeant. One was in charge of us in the morning, and he was a little crazy. One was in charge of us in the afternoon, and he was awesome. Tech Sergeant Daly, he should be president. I love that guy. He was so cool. He would because always when we line up outside when we come back from, from our tech school, we line up outside. We're in formation, and it's like 4:40, and if we obviously stay out for 5, we have to the national anthem and stuff like that. So it always tries to get in.
Everyone's trying to book it inside right before it goes off. Yeah, you don't want to be standing out there, whatever, rain or shine.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't because we got there in like mid-February, so it was still kind of cold. Like, it was kind of cold, and the Army was doing 2-a-days, where outside of their normal like go to the gym, they would run in the morning and run in the afternoon, and then they could go to the gym in their off time. So we only ran in the morning, and we had this one guy, Sergeant Daly's like, and Army's running for their second. It's like, aren't you guys glad you're in the Air Force? Like, yeah, we really are. But then I don't know what happened the next morning where the Army wasn't running. I think they had like another random training exercise.
Yeah.
But we're outside, it was cold, and it had just started to snow. And the crazy guy is just like, you think I'm going to let you guys just because it's snowing? Hell no. USA, United States Air Force. And we start booking it. I was like, oh, man. So I'm hoping
here we go.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we're not like slipping and sliding everywhere. A couple of people did, but it was fine. We didn't go too bad.
That's good.
Where's the first duty station?
So I've been reservist for almost 13 years so far.
Yeah.
And so I just went back to Cali, to LA. Yeah, cool. Reserved in LA. So my first unit was the 349th Combat Support Hospital, 349th Cash for short. And it was a great mission in Kuwait. Right out of AIT, we were supposed to be slotted to go to Iraq. And as a high speed, newly minted PFC, right out of training, I'm like, good soul, yeah, like do it, like send me, I'll go, and I was all about it. I was all, and then our MTO changed and it said Kuwait. I was like, no, I want to do my bid, but it was a great mission. I had good times and bad times, during that time. Being a hospital, we had, it was a really good mission. We took in some, and I can talk about it now because that was like years ago. But we took in a guy who almost took his own life. It was on Valentine's Day, actually. So shitty. I guess.
Celebrate that there?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, you can. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a friend, that I was seeing there. She was attached to our unit for the deployment, and we were kind of seeing each other. But kind of like those deployment stories, deployment relationships, whatever. Kind of. I mean, we lasted like a little while after, and then I moved to Colorado for her. But we broke up mutually, and I stayed here. But again, good mission. We were on we were on alert a few times. They got intel that the base might be attacked, or they they were gonna try and send by foot traffic, send in a bomber or something. Wasn't too much. I mean, they have civilian contractors that do force pro or force protection, for the base. So
Yeah.
there's like many layers. Everything in the U.S. there's redundancy, right? The grid goes down. Backup generators and everything go on. So, before it gets to the actual main part of the base where you actually have to go to the garrison, get your rifle, and like beat feet and get ready to fight. There's the civilian contractors. And then, MPs and, whatever else they have before it gets that bad.
Yeah. No, I worked with, or I didn't work with, they were just on the base. I think it was like Corvallis, it was DynCorp, and somebody else. There was another company that was in Ali as well, as far as civilian contractors.
I think Constellus. They have that contract. Yeah. So Constellus is the umbrella, right? But there's a ton of companies under that Constellus umbrella, like Triple Canopy, Edinburgh International in the UK, Olive Group, and a bunch of others. Yeah, but Constellus is the main one, and they have the contract currently in Kuwait. But a couple of buddies of mine I contracted with, and I'll get into that soon if you'd like.
Yeah.
A couple of buddies I contracted with, they actually went to Kuwait after Kosovo, where I met them.
Yeah, I remember you there.
Yeah, and my buddy's like, come to Kuwait, you make more money than Kosovo. I'm like, fuck that. I was like, I've been to Kuwait, did my time there. Like, no. Yeah, I'm good.
What made you decide to do contracting instead of like full-time in military? I'm guessing it was mostly just the money, because if I ever went back, mostly just be for the money.
Be contracting, right? Yeah. So this was 2007, and I've been through a lot of calamity, a lot of struggle and hardship throughout my years. And in 2007, one of my friends took his life, and then I was trying to get with a girl. I know this is stupid. This is like petty, right? Like a girl, whatever.
It was a long time ago. You were a kid.
It was a long time ago. I'm better now. I'm smarter now. No, no. But at the time, there was a girl I was seeing. We were really into each other, and we would hang out all the time, go to the Renaissance Festival, all that stuff, right? Movies. I was really into her, and I was single for the longest time, right? Not 2007. Sorry, 2017.
I figured it was okay.
Yeah. You knew it. Anyway, 2017. And she asked, "Oh, how do you see us?" And I said, "Oh, I'd like to, start a relationship." And she's like,
Ooh.
We have to talk. Yeah. And that like made my heart drop. And so anyway, I got kind of depressed. I was down in the dumps at that time. And then my friend took his life in January of that year.
No.
And I was just kind of a mess, and I'm like, and in addition to all that, my unit wasn't sending me to ALC, which is Advanced Leader Course. That's the next step up. So BLC, you get your stripes, right, as sergeant. And then ALC is Staff Sergeant, SLC, Sergeant First Class, right? So I've been waiting all this time. I did my online training already, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll send you. We have slots. And they never did. And so I was waiting. They weren't helping me with forward, movement in my career. And, I was depressed, and I lost my friends. So I was like, I really need a change of scenery, change of pace, right? And I had some debts at the time. I was like, I need to pay them off, and the security thing wasn't working. And so I just started filling out applications to go contracting. And I found this company, Torres Advanced Enterprise Solutions, or AES for short, or just Torres. Right?
Yeah.
I filled out the recruitment stuff for them. I went to Kosovo, Camp Bonsteel. It's a NATO mission by the DoD. The base is DoD. It's an Army base, U.S. Army base in Kosovo. It's a NATO mission, and that was a great time. I was, making tax-free money, and meeting new people, right? Meeting new people, traveling a lot. I'm sure you saw all my escapades, you know.
Yeah, you told me about a few of them. Oh yeah, no, I saw them. You posted them on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Went to Macedonia, Serbia, Montenegro, you know, Norway, Switzerland, a bunch of other places, you know, vacation or whatever. But I met a girlfriend at the time in Montenegro on vacation. She was Serbian and gorgeous. You know, yeah. Anyway, yeah, contracting was good. It was good. Will I go back to that company? No.
No. Oh, okay.
No, definitely not.
Good to know. I'll X that off the list. 2017 was also crazy because I had just gotten out in like December 2016, and I'd gotten out because the military had killed like all of my relationships that I'd tried to get in, and I couldn't. You know, like you're one where you can't move, you can't do anything. You know, so I had 4 relationships in 2017, each one like worse than the last. Like, oh my god, like, and they were good. They were good relationships. It's just like they were good. We liked each other, but just because of X, Y, and Z, they wouldn't work out for random reasons. And I was like, oh man, so I was getting frustrated. And then I was also looking for another thing. So I was like, oh, maybe I can do contracting, and that's when I looked into a bunch of stuff. And mine would have been different because I would just drive 60Ks. I would just drive these like giant vehicles, and that'd be no combat thing that I would think, unless it would just me getting rocketed because I'm on the flight line.
Right. You know, and convoy gets ambushed. You know, no biggie.
That would suck.
All right, time to go to work. You know,
let's get this bread. I mean, even now, I think I would. I mean, I'd still need to get requalified on some weapons, but I think that'd be it. I would.
Actually, yeah. So not Torres, but so Torres has. I mean, they're another name by now, right? They're Continuity Service Group, I think, or Continuity Sport Global, something. But they do like annual ranges or quarterly ranges, right, on the base. But certain other larger PMC companies like Constellas, right? They have a base in it's base of operations, right? In I think it's North Carolina, Moyock, North Carolina, and or Moyock, Virginia? No, North Carolina. And you go there prior to deploying. You go there and you train up. You take the physical aptitude test, right? All fitness stuff, and then you get put on a bunch of different ranges with different weapon systems. And if you qualify, you're good to go. They ship you overseas. And if not though, they fly you home.
Yeah. Oh, that would suck to like do all that and like, oh, you missed the weapons. Like, damn.
Yeah, exactly. You pass the PT part, right? Like the push-ups, run, whatever, and then you don't qualify on like one weapon system that you need. You don't meet the minimum. That would suck.
I would get so salty. I would get like I'm not the greatest shot. Like I never got that 3-leaf. I forget what
like expert rifle.
Yeah, I never got that ribbon. Like, which I guess I'm kind of thankful for because at the end I had 3 racks of ribbons, and if I would have gotten that one, I would have had to get a 4th rack, like the mini rack.
Oh man, just that one, huh?
Yeah. So like, all right, glad I didn't get that.
You know where the standard is. No. I actually this is a very humble story. I'm going to tell you real quick in basic. Very humble. People might laugh, but it meant a lot to me, right? My grandfather, when he was in the army in Korea, he was in the Korean War. He shot expert, right? And I went up there like first time, even the second time I went up there, I didn't get expert, and I got I got sharpshooter, the very basic one, right? Like most I've ever received because of my skills was it was sharpshooter. Sorry, the basic one, I forget what it is. I think just basic, right? So sharpshooter, there's like basic, sharpshooter, and then expert, right? So in basic, I got the first one, bar minimum, right? Yeah. And I got back to the company area or in our platoon areas in our rooms, and I just like opened my locker, and on both sides I like covered myself, and I just cried because, you know, the standard was my grandfather, right? Like, reach that, you know, and I didn't reach that, and I just bawled. I was like, I'm sorry, you know, but yeah, I'm sure.
Gets emotional in basic.
Oh yeah, especially when you're being fucking yelled at and like go, you know, and you're losing weight because you're not eating enough and they don't feed you, like, you know, throughout the whole day.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like they have the 3 meals. So thankfully I can eat fast. I would just gather as much stuff on my plate.
Oh yeah, nose deep.
Dude, the first
all right, you're done. Up, go.
The first time I actually got there, my plane was delayed. So I actually didn't get into basic, like into my bed until like 3 o'clock. Like I had like 45 minutes before I had to get up again.
You had to be up anyway.
So, and I was already up for, you know, for like almost 24 hours. And then I was like, and I hadn't eaten. So I was like, okay, first thing that they do, as I'm told, like we wake up, you go get chow, you line up, formation, you go, like, okay, cool. So I get some stuff on my plate, and I'm going to bring this up because it was my Tech Sergeant Lyle. I'm going to bring this up. He's going to be on the podcast at some point because we're like friends now. As soon as I sit down, he just goes, "You're done." I was like, "No." So I was like, "Yes, sir." and I throw away my tray of food. I was like, "My food." So at lunch, I just went hardcore.
Trash.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, like I so you guys have a lot more physically demanding. You know, like a basic training boot camp. Ours is a little more. You're in class like a lot of the time.
More instructional, right?
Yeah, and I would much rather the physical stuff because I'm not going to be sleeping while I'm running or like doing push-ups. But if you're in class trying to do, so yeah, it's hard to stay away.
Yeah, I think I actually found that out later, right, when I was already in the Army. But I think if I knew that before I enlisted in the Army, I would not have gone anyway. Like, nah, not for me. Thanks. You know.
Would you have done like Air Force, or would you have just done a little easier, like Air Force?
That's what I meant. Like Air Force is more like classroom, right? It's a lot more classroom.
Yeah.
You know. And it's very like cookie cutter, right? The height and weight, right? So for the most part, or no?
I mean, yeah, which really sucks because there's some guys that are like really like jacked, like built, and like they don't pass the waist circumference. So they have to like cut weight, they have to lose muscle mass, and it's hard in base because you lose every single person I know. I know that's a lot. Like 90% of the people that were there were like pretty big guys. They would work out, and we all lost so much muscle.
They look like superheroes, right? Huge jacked upper body, and then like tiny waist, and then huge legs.
Yeah, and then we lost so much muscle because like we weren't lifting weights, we were running, and like that was it.
It's like, hey, come join the Marines, come join the Army. No, actually, speaking of that, a good buddy of mine I was in Kuwait with, he's a little shorter than me, but he's jacked, right?
Yeah.
Passes PT, no problem. But he would always have to get taped because he was shorter and big, right?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Stocky. Wraithax, a $20 super size to Karahi. From one vet, the one 506, 101st to another vet. Thanks for service, both of you. Cheers, Ray Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the work.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's we met on.
Thanks for your service, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's aware. We thank each other all the time.
Yeah. Cool.
We met on this game called Earth 2, where it's like a metaverse where it's crazy. They partnered with Mapbox and they made a 1-to-1 map of Earth, and you could buy like the Empire State Building, like the pyramids of Giza just sold for $20,000. It's nuts, and the person bought it for like $6. Have you gotten into like metaverse gaming and stuff like that?
I have not. I see a lot of what you're doing with it, right? I was introduced to it through you. I haven't gotten into it though. I haven't. Like, is it worth it? Is it a good investment? You know, like Nifty's?
So it depends on which ones you go for. Like there's so many NFT and gaming projects out there, and most of them will probably not survive. But there's a couple with like really active Discords and Telegram chats. Like, so Earth 2 is definitely one of them. Like
Okay.
they just they bought the drone video game and they're gonna release that for free.
Oh wow.
And yeah, they sniped a guy from Binance, so they're gonna get like so they have a crypto that they're gonna get listed on Binance in the future.
Mhm.
And this one company that you probably see me talk about, veve, has like all these Batman and Spider-Man NFTs. So they're like actual real like digital collectibles. And they pretty much get any NFT on the app right now. In a year, it'll be worth a lot more, like
Okay.
probably double, because like nobody knows about it yet. Um, and then this Omi coin that underpins the app is, I mean, I put everything into it, like, and and I didn't just have like a couple $1,000s. I put like every single amount of money that I had.
Into it. Like your all your goose eggs, all your eggs
Yeah,
in
all
that
the eggs
basket.
in that one
Yeah.
basket. And I've had there's been some ups and downs, but it's the only company that has like a Disney partnership for NFTs. So I was like,
Right.
okay, there's zero, zero chance why I
That's
wouldn't.
cool. That's cool. And yeah, Disney, I just, I hate the corporate side of Disney, right? I really do. But like their IP, their content is awesome. Like Lilo and Stitch. Lilo is or Stitch is my favorite Disney character.
He's so cute. He's so great.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is I don't see Disney going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, never.
It's just gonna go up.
Yeah. So that's what I did. Is like, okay, there's only one company partnered with Disney that has a crypto. So it's like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah. And I know you sold your Tesla, right?
Yeah, I just had my accountant send me an email. Because I sold all my Tesla. That's a taxable event, even though I put it into something else.
Yeah.
I have such a huge tax bill this year that I'm gonna have to pay it off over like a little bit this quarter, a little bit next quarter.
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah. So like I could sell some of my
because just though you transferred exactly one to another, right? There was no like middle ground, no.
I mean, I had to sell it because Tesla's a stock and Omi is a crypto.
Yeah. Right.
So I had to. Yeah, it's awful.
But it didn't go anywhere else. Just like straight to the next spot.
It just had to go through my bank account though.
Yeah.
So that's what the transfer.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's gonna be ridiculous. But on the flip side of that is that I will probably have a year to pay it off. And hopefully this increases a lot by then, and then I could just relax.
Yeah, right.
Not do too much.
What's next?
Yeah. What is the pay like for a contractor? I guess I know it depends on which ones you.
Yeah.
How high you get.
So I think all the high intensity zones, right? Syria, various places in Africa, right? Sierra Leone and stuff like that. Yeah, they pay pretty good penny, but the smaller, like low intensity places like Israel, and although they get rocket attacked all the time, but Israel, Kosovo, they're pretty low, man. I hate to say they're like 20 no, I'd say like 25,000, 26,000 on a good year. If you do a shit ton of early-ins and stayovers, right, like extended shifts, you may touch like 31,000, as an armed guard, right? So there's armed guard. So so we're on the same level. Armed guard with Torres, they were called tan hats, right? Because we had tan everything. And then the supervisors were called black hats, right? And then of course, supervisor, you get paid more. So I mean, you'll make way more than 30,000 as a supervisor, right?
Yeah.
And as a regular armed guard, it's hit or miss depending on the shifts you work, right?
That's like almost nothing.
What's that?
That's almost nothing. That's like not even worth it.
Yeah, it's almost nothing. But I will say, if anyone is interested in contracting, I will say this: if you have no child support to pay, you have no debts, right? In anything, you can make a lot of money. Like you just put it away.
They feed you over there.
Yeah, and also you live on base.
Yeah.
So your food's paid for. You're not paying for rent unless you move off base. But even then, in a country like Kosovo, you live off the economy. You can live like a king or a queen.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. It's dirt cheap to live in Kosovo, right? Hold on, off U.S. income at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, like my ex girlfriend who's Serbian, her aunt was marrying this guy who's American, right? He was doing IT. He was living in Serbia and getting a U.S. income, like best of both worlds,
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
really
what
cheap.
can you tell us about your time in Kosovo?
Kosovo. So it was, yeah, it was mixed, mixed reviews, right? um, there were so on. I'll start with on the contract, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of locals that worked with us, and I I wish they didn't. You can't trust a lot of them. So a lot of them are like Kuwaitis, right? They talk shit about Americans and say
Yeah.
they don't need us, right? They don't need us. But they actually did.
Yeah.
They actually did. Like in Kuwait, I don't know if did you go off base at all?
I actually did not. When a lot of them were, I was I got sick one day,
Okay.
and that happened to be the day that they were going off base, and
Okay.
it seemed fine. But Kuwait's the only place that I've ever been where we don't have to pay for gas to refill our vehicles. Like they just straight up, nope, you take it. Like no credit card, no nothing, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, that's awesome.
damn,
I mean, they have the money.
yeah,
It's like stupid money. But anyway, I bring that up is because my section took a MWR trip to the War Museum in Kuwait,
hmm
and total propaganda. You go through a winding, path. You walk through this whole diorama in the War Museum, and there's no mention of the U.S. It's all, through strict heroism and valor and bravery. The Kuwaiti National Guard,
Wait,
stop tyranny in its tracks. I'm like,
they're talking about like Desert Storm, right? And Desert
yes,
Shield. What?
yes. No mention of the
What?
U.S., bro. Nowhere, nowhere. The only mention. Hey, thank you, Aldous or Aldous. How do you say it?
Yeah, that cheers all this happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. So yeah, the only mention of any country ever is at the very end of the diorama. There's a huge wall, and it has like all the countries that contributed to like memorials or other aid, whatever.
Oh my
That's the
god.
only mention. So so fast forward to Kosovo. I'm sure they have some propaganda that they got, like, we don't need you, we saved ourselves, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yet NATO is the one that bombed, the Serbs and everything in the Balkan War, right, to free the Albanians and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you kind of do need us, but.
Yeah. So I was I wish I'm sure somebody has pictures, but I guess Saddam Hussein had bought these impenetrable like forces or like these impenetrable like buildings, like these
Bunkers and
almost
stuff.
like fallout shelters that I think they bought them from France, saying like, oh yeah, no missile can get through here. But on the way to the flight line, you get through these, and there's giant holes in them from where the missiles came. So I wish I
Nice.
would have taken photos, but there's like you're not allowed. But I definitely know that somebody had to have taken photos because
Refund.
like, yeah.
Refund.
So
That
yeah.
guy, I'm sure that guy lost his job. Somebody got fired. I'm just going to put that out there.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was. I mean, it was great for France. Probably knowing that, like, oh yeah, let's like take advantage of this like dumb Kuwaiti leader, and dumb Saddam Hussein who thinks that these are impenetrable.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah. Uh,
Nice.
so yeah, that's I actually I don't know if you so I in twice in my life, actually three times, but this one happens to be in Kuwait. This guy,
Uh,
Sergeant Frempong, who's from somewhere in Africa, but he was a cool dude, and he knew what to do. Like he knew the job really well, and one day he was on the other shift, but because we were on 12, 12 on, 12 off.
Yeah.
But he said that, hey, in the morning when we had some type of like all call or commander's call, whatever. He said it was like 6 a.m., which we worked from midnight to 12, but the call was at 6 a.m. So he's like in the middle of his sleep cycle. Like I hated when they did that. But from Tent City going down to the passenger terminal where we worked, he said he saw someone. It was because there's a bunch of different militaries on that base. There's like Norwegian, there's Canadian, we had IDF on there. There's a bunch. Said there was a somebody in a uniform that he didn't know who it was, and they looked like an officer. So he just like I just whipped it. I just saluted because he didn't know. And then he goes to a buddy of his that he's walking with. And he's like, "Was that an officer? Like, did you salute?" I didn't salute. Well, I saluted. You should have saluted. So like, could you tell? So they look back, like, I don't know, a couple seconds after they saluted, and there's nobody there, and like there's nowhere for that person to go. So he's thinking that he's like, I don't know if I should tell anyone. So he tells somebody, just like ask someone about the uniforms. Like, oh no, that's like an older uniform from back in Desert Storm, like Desert Shield, and it was from like the other side. And he's like, so I was like, oh, I think I saw like an old ghost. I think I saw like a Kuwaiti ghost.
Oh.
Have you ever noticed or done anything like that? Have you had any experiences at your time in the military?
So my friend, hold on, I'll get to that. Okay. I've always wanted to, experience something like that in the military. I've had a few stories outside the military, but one article my friend sent me, it was someone took a photo. I think it was in Italy somewhere, but it was ruins, right? They took pictures of ruins where Rome, conquered. Yeah. And in the photo, and it was at night, and in this photo, you see the Roman crimson, right? And the cape, and you see like the gold of the helmet. And there was nobody there. Nothing was reflecting off anything. It was just a Roman legionnaire doing his watch. I thought that was really cool.
Wow.
But no, in the Army, I can't. No matter where I've been, I can't say I've experienced something like that before. Yeah. I don't have any cool stories like that.
This one wasn't mine. It's this guy Brown and this guy Johnson that I was in basic training with. They were doing something, and one of them had to like go to the bathroom, and they waited in like this outside of this porta potty. They see somebody go in, so they're like waiting, and I guess they thought the guy was like taking a dump because they're waiting for a couple minutes, and this one TI is like, "What are you guys standing around for? You've been standing there for a couple minutes." And like, oh, yes, sir. Partner just has to go to the bathroom. And he was like, all right, hey, you got 2 minutes to get out of there. He's knocking on the door. He's like, trainee, answer me. And so he's like, I'm opening this door because he wasn't answering him. And he opens the door and no one's in there. And and two trainees, they're just like, and so they expected to get chewed out. Like, are you messing with me? But the guy never did that. The guy's like, go back to your barracks and go there. I'm like, yes, sir. I'm like, oh my God, we just saw ghosts. So they came back and they told us. We're like, what?
Damn, man, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense. All over the world, plenty of battlefields, bodies, just, bodies everywhere.
So speaking of that, what's your take on the whole Russia-Ukraine conflict? Is it, I guess, obviously propaganda on both sides, but do you think it's more of that Putin just wants to gather like the natural resources, a bunch of gas pipelines going to Europe, like reunite the USSR? What's going on?
All right. So I don't know what Putin had planned, right, originally. I don't know why he's doing this blitzkrieg, but a lot of the soldiers that they have, like the Ukrainian either militia or military, have captured and they filmed. They ask them, "What are you doing here?" And a lot of them don't know. right? So just imagine that you go out with your unit and you say bye, see you later to like family or friends, right? And you go out in the field like, oh, it's just a training exercise. You go out in the field and you're actually like force on force, right? Explosions and people getting shot, people dying, like, fuck, I didn't say goodbye, real goodbye to, my loved ones. And I think that's how I think that's what they thought. They were going on like a training exercise or something. Either way, whatever it was, Putin has not planned for a long standing attack, right? A lot of them don't have resupply, right? And, and I will never doubt or talk shit to a supply, sergeant ever again.
They save lives.
Yeah, they do. Seriously, food, equipment, anything, blankets and jackets, whatever it is, night vision, whatever it is, resupply, they're on it. But I think Putin expected this to be a blitzkrieg, right? Quick, in, hammer, put people on the ground, capture this, capture that, right? And it was quick, but it's not. It's drawing out. It's days after now, right? And it seems like the Russian military is like losing morale, and they definitely lost momentum. And also, Ukraine's military, right? Their National Guard, their Air Force, and the Ukraine Spetsnaz took back the Hostomel airport from the Russians, and the Russians were going to use that as a bridge, a sky bridge, to do resupply, right?
Yeah.
Or just fly people in, right? Fly more troops in. And they captured that airport, and then Ukraine took it back, kicked their ass, right? And then what else was I going to say? So I mean, it's Putin's not getting what he expected, and they even had the Zakharov brigade or battalion, like this huge, predominantly Muslim, like, I don't know if they were supposed to be like special operations guys, right? Zakharov battalion, but there's like 400 of them. 200 went to, Kiev. 200 went to, I think, Kharkiv, the other area, right? And they got annihilated. Annihilated. It's like, these are your special forces guys, right? Like, damn. And also Russia, with all the footage that's coming out, and you got to be careful, by the way, because propaganda, right? Both sides. Out there, but a lot of the photos that have been coming out is they have like 70s outdated tech. They don't have GPS. They have old night vision, right? The very grainy, old.
Sucks.
Yeah,
in general sucks, but
yeah. I mean, I've seen the new updated, ENVG or whatever. That.
How are the new ones? Are they a lot better?
Amazing. It's yellow too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's not green.
Oh, all right. All right, that's interesting.
Yeah, anyway, like Russia has a lot of outdated stuff, right? And they're fighting this conflict with all this stuff. And at first, as an American soldier, I was kind of afraid of like, oh, I don't want to go up against Russia. They're near peer or peer-to-peer, uniformed, highly trained, military. I'm like, we're gonna have deaths on both sides, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of nervous, but after seeing this whole thing go down in Ukraine, and that the Russians are fighting the Ukrainian military and militias and regular civilians that were armed, I'm kind of disappointed in Russia, sad to say. And like, damn, okay, imagine if we went to war with Russia at this point. Smoke them, Yeah.
I wanted to go back in. I messaged old buddy of mine, messaged an old recruiter, and it was like, is there any way you go? But again, like, I wouldn't be able, like, we can't do anything right now. A lot of it is just
right.
Although U.S. and like, I'm surprised, not surprised. I guess a little surprised that all of these other countries are resupplying Ukraine, like giving up a bunch of munitions, giving them a bunch of vehicles and
NATO and a
aircraft.
bunch of other countries. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're supplying them with like anti-armor, anti-armor ordnance and all that stuff. Yeah. Hot like good MVGs, updated MVGs. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine in like at let's say Russian, like 18 years old Russian soldier, thinking they're going out on training mission, and suddenly you got a bunch of like, and let's say they have family in Ukraine. Find out they're in
Yeah.
Ukraine, like, hey, am I gonna be fighting like my cousins? Am I gonna be fighting like my uncle or whatever? And then it's gotta be so demoralizing for them. And yeah, especially with all this support for Ukraine worldwide, like people making NFTs about it. That's one of the smartest things to do right now. Like make something, sell it, and give a lot of the proceeds donations to like Ukraine. Like they're accepting crypto, they're accepting everything.
But because Russia's stock just plummeted, and then the what is it, the ruby,
it went down like 50% in like
man, it's like less than a penny, less than a US penny. It's nothing. It's literally crap.
Rip. I don't know what they would do as far because they even tried to, I think, limit Bitcoin as well. Like so their citizens, I don't know what they can do for money. I don't know what they can do.
That's horrible.
Plus they have sanctions on top of them.
But also a lot of Russian girls that have OnlyFans, they were blocked from their OnlyFans accounts.
No.
Yeah. They're like, I'm a content creator, or they say like, oh, I'm making a living and stuff. And maybe, they make enough money. They do make a living, but they can't just OnlyFans or, Google anything, YouTube. You can't just nitpick, you can pick and choose it. There's no way. There's no like system or algorithm that they have, I guess. You can't do that. It's either all or nothing, right? So everyone in this region shut down.
Wow. So the citizens are really getting destroyed. They have sanctions.
Yeah, and it's shitty because they're not fighting the war, and a large number of Russians in Russia are protesting the war. They didn't want them to invade. So they're just getting the collateral from this, the rundown. It sucks. I feel bad for a lot of them. And also a friend of mine down in Colorado Springs, my buddy Isaac, he's Ukrainian, but he also has family on both Ukraine and Russia side, right?
Yeah.
So he actually lost like, I think it was eight or nine family members so far because of this conflict. Yeah. I was like, geez, I've lost like 9 friends over the course of, X amount of years. I can't imagine, 8 or 9 in like a week.
Yeah. Jesus, that's horrible. Yeah. I was expecting I don't know if you ever knew this. In 2014, I was actually engaged, and it was with this girl, Natasha, and her mother's from Ukraine and her dad's from Russia.
Yeah.
Natasha Roshetnikova. Oh my God. Oh, beautiful. Anyway.
Hotness.
Anyway, she went back to Ukraine in 2014 to like say bye to her mom. Wasn't doing so hot. So she went say bye to her mom, but then while she was there, a friend of hers died in like a bombing in Donetsk, when they had that whole civil war thing. So she stayed to like fight, and she kind of went off grid. Like she never came back. She never contacted me afterwards. I was like, so I'm thinking either the worst had happened, or I remember reading that in August of 2014, there was a shipment, like a train shipment of like $100 million worth of German gold passing through Ukraine, and it got hit, and they lost like $100 million worth of. They lost like a bunch of the gold. So I'm thinking that, well, maybe Natasha put a team together and they just hit the train, and now she's just on an island somewhere, just chilling.
Yeah,
that's like my.
Yeah, you hope it's that, not the
Yeah. But no messages during this conflict. If you weren't currently tied down with a couple of things, what would you? How would you just like? Would you go there as like a private citizen and be like, all right, let's go, let's fight?
I would like to get that experience, right? Both traveling and, I could talk about the whole event, and getting that combat, uh, being able to tell people that I helped Ukraine in this time, and go down in history, but I don't know, because I do have things going on right now. You and I spoke earlier about my anti-human trafficking nonprofit.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm the vice president and secretary. So, and I'm also acting as the social media person right now. Anyway, it's like a tie between me and our president, my buddy Matt. So yeah, we just got 501c3 status by the IRS. We're now tax exempt, and we're taking donations, and we're still putting our teams together. And so there's that, right? There's that. If I wasn't in the Army and wasn't doing security, I have that for sure. Also, I don't know if I'd want to go and be part of that, because we just got out of like a 20-year war, right, with Afghanistan. Let's have a little downtime, but the economy or politics, you can't control any of that. At least politics. But I just feel I want to help Ukraine, and glory to Ukraine, and all that. But as for like full scale war, all out war, like we've been through so much, man. We've lost so many good people, men and women. I don't know. Yeah, so many. Iraq and Afghanistan. It's shitty. So personally, if I was given the chance to go, I honestly can't say. I can't put a finger on that, man.
Yeah.
I would like the experience and stuff, but I don't know if I'd go. Oh, and sorry, I didn't bring this up. My ex-girlfriend and I are co-parenting with her son. He's 3 years old, and he's starting to call me dad. And that's a great thing. I found so much joy in being a father. And he's not my blood, but he's my boy. I want to be that stepfather that actually steps up and takes that responsibility.
Takes a big man to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he needs a father. He deserves one. His sperm donor hasn't been here, and I've been taking care of him. I clothe him, I bathe him, I drive him to and from daycare, I play with him, I take him places, I feed him, I change him, everything. He's my son, and I guess it's not fair for me to put that out there, because hundreds, thousands of parents have gone to war, over these 20 years, and they never came home. So you have plenty of single moms and single dads, and that's the job we sign up for, is to not die like 100%, you are going to die if that's how everyone thinks when their kid tells them I'm going to join, they're like, oh my God, don't, you're going to die. No. For anyone listening that's interested in joining, no, that's not it. You're not going to die.
Yeah, most people don't see combat. So.
No, exactly. And it's just it's not fair that they don't come home. They go to do the job, do the damn thing, fight for the country, fight to defend whatever country they're fighting with, right? Or defend what's back here, in the homeland. And you don't get to choose whether you live or die. That's not up to us, right?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of unfair for me to say that and put that out there, like, hey, I don't want to go because of this, but that's where I'm at right now in life, is being a dad, and then being, running a nonprofit.
Yeah. I mean, that would make me want to go more, so that my friends with kids wouldn't have to. I'd be like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, it was a little selfish for me to say that, but yeah, it's like you wanna keep that at bay, like terrorism. at bay over there, so it doesn't come back here.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
But yeah, tell us about the nonprofit and how you got started in that and inspirations.
Cool. Yeah. So a buddy of mine, Jim Davies, he actually took his life in 2020, in October 2020. Before that, he and I were working security together. We were on some shifts together, and we just struck it up in conversation. He goes, "Have you heard of human trafficking?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and we got to talking all about it and the organizations that we both follow and keep up with that are already established, right? And we're like, and both he and I are protectors. We're the sheepdogs, right? You have sheep, you have wolves, and sheepdogs. And we're both protectors, and we wanted to do something, right? We want to do something for the community, for society. And there's just so much trafficking in this world, right? Like, never mind the US, like worldwide, and US is a little bit of trivia. US is actually the demand for child pornography, which is such a shame.
So that means like people in the US want child pornography more than other countries?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And yeah, it just blows your mind, right? But human trafficking is a billion-dollar industry, right? It's the third most lucrative behind weapons smuggling and drugs, right? Weapons trafficking and drugs.
I would,
because you can, real quick, you can sell a boy or girl 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day and get money every single time, right? As opposed to just selling
drugs or
weapons one time. It's a one and done thing. Yeah. It's shitty, man. It's horrible.
Yeah. That's
so
not a renewable resource. That resource that it's like a boomerang, keeps coming back. They're essentially renting them. And
right. And so we got to talking about that, and we're like, there's so much filth in this world, and we need to contribute to the good, right?
Yeah.
So we just brainstormed on everything, on like teams, roles and responsibilities. What do you want to do? Do we want to be domestic or international? And right now we're domestic, strictly national right now, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we got our friend Anthony, and then our friend Matt. Anthony is the treasurer, and he's also a founder. And then Matt Stansel, he's the president and founder. So we all just banded together and we're like, let's do this, right? And I will say, going from knowing absolutely nothing of a nonprofit, right, a 501c3 company, knowing nothing, only knowing, 501c3 or nonprofit, that's tax exempt, right? Going from just that alone to now I can tell you how to set up a nonprofit and like the roles and responsibilities, the duties of board members, of officers, right? I can tell you all that, all the insurance you need to get, everything, just countless hours, day in, day out, waking up early, get my coffee, breakfast on my computer, researching and learning, right? And writing, taking a bunch of notes, and then till sundown and late night, go to sleep just to do it all again the next day, right? Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And now I know a ton about bringing up a nonprofit.
Good. I will need you. So there's two things that I want to add, or I guess a couple things. This large investment that I put into Omi, there's this coin it's worth less than half of 1 penny for one coin. I do happen to have 130 million of these coins, and that will, at some point this decade, that will be $1 per coin, and most likely I still will have hopefully 100 million coins at that time. So a lot of what I want to do is for animal charities, and so I would need help with learning how to set up that 501 3C or C3.
Sure. Yeah, C3. Yeah.
And then also, how does it? You said you're domestic right now with the anti-human trafficking. Are you focusing on just one or a couple of major cities, like New York or Miami, Chicago, or are you doing just more like local to your state, and then go from there? And how do you do it?
So we're set up here in Colorado, right? Of course, but our treasurer lives in Florida. He's in Florida, and we have a couple attorneys that we're in touch with, right? And one of them is from a very large law firm in LA, Houston, and California.
Okay.
So we're hoping to partner with them because they're trying to. They have a very wide range of cases, and I think they're trying to stake a foothold in human trafficking cases, trials, and all that. And so right now we're in Colorado and we're doing operations within Colorado, but we're not opposed to networking and making those connections from other organizations.
I would love to help out at some point, whether it's just like a donor or whether it's just a again, I don't know, not that you could give away the secrets. Yeah, we got like a 8-man team securing the perimeter, and we have one person inside like setting up the buy, and then as soon as we get it, we go in.
Sign this non-disclosure agreement before we move forward. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But I totally love to help. I mean, especially in the future when I have a little bit of money and a little bit more time. I'd love, because I think that's one of the best causes to fight that.
Hell yeah, man. And you know what? It's nonpartisan too. It's not left or right, Republican, Democrat, Green Party. It's all across the board. It's nonpartisan. Like nobody wants slaves, right? Nobody likes slavery, especially with children, right? Yeah. To forced labor, prostitution, any type of exploitation, nobody wants that. So everybody can, mostly everybody can get on board with this.
Do you think that if we do kind of what Europe has done, or at least Germany and I think Amsterdam, and legalize sex work, like legalize prostitution, obviously for adults, do you think that would take power away from some of these organizations, or is it because they focus on like kids?
So I feel matter. So I can't be 100% on that, right? Like I'm not an expert, right? I'm just gonna tell you my opinion. So I feel it would kind of be that way. That's like how Colorado legalized marijuana, and it took a lot of business away from drug dealers, right? It may be the same, it may be the same where if we legalize it. They say, prostitution's the world's oldest profession, but, it's really the oldest exploitation, right? Oldest oppression, right? Oldest oppression. But yeah, if that happens, I feel a lot of pimps would still trying to, there are still people that sell drugs, sell weed and stuff like that on the street. I've actually one time taken the bus in Denver. I was near the back and this guy came on, went to the back, sat next to this other guy. He was like, hey, you want some of this? And it was weed. I was like, you know where you are, right? Like, you don't have to be hush hush about it, But,
yeah.
Or you don't have to sell. Like nobody's gonna buy from you because it's illegal. But anyway, so it may be the same instance where it takes a lot of work away from the pimps, right? But there will still be pimps in various cities and towns where they try and do their best to stay, under the radar and in the market.
Yeah.
Because it makes them money. So a lot of guys, I wouldn't say men, they're not men, right? A lot of guys feel they need to have control, right? Mm-hmm. They want control. They're the man, right? And guys mistake being the man for a man, right? two completely different things. So, with that, they want control, and, beating a girl, whispering sweet nothings to her, getting her heart and mind, wrapped around you, right? Wrapped around your finger, and then just turning around, selling them, beating them, drugging them. They have that, like, maybe not even a complex. Maybe it's like from past trauma, in their families, in their lives. Maybe they're in a gang, but they have that, and it makes them feel good, makes them feel important, especially when one pimp has maybe 4 or 5, 10 girls in their care. They're gonna feel pretty special, especially when they're making hundreds of dollars and they only give a percentage to the girl.
Yeah.
I'll treat you right, blah blah blah. And it's shitty. It's shitty. So I'm sure there's always gonna be somebody, to step up into that role, which is, a sad fact.
Yeah. I would think that again, that's one of the things that I would love to try to combat in the future. The only thing I was thinking of is that, like, have you ever seen the movie Equalizer with Denzel Washington?
Yes, good one.
Now, obviously, that's probably not possible, especially with one guy. But if you had a bunch of people like that, do you think that'd be possible to take down like a whole ring, to take down like to the very top?
Man, yeah, like Epstein, right? Just work your way up the ladder.
Yeah, just
yeah, it's definitely, definitely hand-to-hand skills, right? But when it gets that high, it's really a lot of who you know.
Yeah.
Right? So with that background that he had in Equalizer, being CIA, maybe military, you over the course of your careers, you make a lot of connections in various fields, various jobs. And yeah, so to answer your question, would it be possible to get a group like that, right, and take out the elite, traffickers? And maybe possible.
I mean, also in that same breath, when you do have someone like Epstein,
you gotta play the long game, though. You can't just be like, I'm here, I'm kicking ass, let's go to work. No, you gotta do the long game. Kind of, go in there, spy, and put on another flag, so to speak, another face, right? Yeah. So sorry.
I mean, you would. I mean, also at some point, if you do that, and you only get so far, and you don't know who that person's boss is, and you don't know where the money's coming from, well, then you shot yourself into a corner, because now there's nowhere to go. You have to start down the bottom again.
Right.
And also someone like Epstein that had catered to like freaking world leaders, to like politicians, and it's like, oh my
athletes,
god,
politicians, athletes, teachers, the list goes on and on. Actors, writers, producers, directors.
Did you hear that everything. A lot of those records are sealed now?
What the hell?
Yeah, so there was a Twitter account that was following the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Yeah.
Had like hundreds of thousands of followers, and then the account mysteriously gets banned. Mysteriously, like, and then we find that a lot of the case files are sealed for whatever freaking reason.
That's stupid.
We literally could go and just and maybe, I don't know what that would look like if suddenly
that would be working your way top to bottom. Yeah. Clearing house in every industry. Yeah.
But so one of the only reasons why I think that maybe they wouldn't have done that is because, like, how would it look if let's say 5% of world leaders or a certain, like, let's say hundreds of people that we all kind of know, including politicians and royalty, like Prince Andrew, whatever, say, oh yeah, they contributed to this child trafficking thing. And like, what would happen? How do you think people would react to that?
Oh man, probably be an uprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's people just start to kill just politicians. Like, oh, you're a politician, that must mean you like little kids. And, and maybe they acted in their own self-interest.
Yeah. it may go that route. It's kind of like, and I hate to say it, I'm American, but when when the media releases one race, right, that has like is in charge of, or they've done wrong, right, like coronavirus, right, COVID-19 came from a lab in Wuhan, and it didn't help that Trump really spread that and promoted it, but it's from Wuhan, it's from China, right? And so everyone is going after Asians, right? Every American is going after Asians right off the bat. Doesn't matter if you're Filipino, Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, no matter what, every Asian, right?
Yeah.
You just look Chinese to me, and I hate you because you put this out there. Your country's in charge of that. Same with Russia, right? Same with Russia. Right now,
yeah.
right now, a lot of the citizens are hurting for it, So it really sucks. And I feel that would happen too. If, hey, you're a politician, you were in charge of this, or you're an actor, you were in charge of this, fuck you, and bam, a lot of, yeah, a lot of that I feel would go down just like that.
Be like the purge.
Yeah. It kind of would, and it's kind of like, if hypothetically aliens came down today, right? They said, we exist, we are here, share technology, stop you from warring, this and that. How many people you think, like religious people, would be up in arms? Would like kill themselves? A lot of them would kill themselves, or they would, I don't know, they just would stop going to church, or pray some more. They would pray more intensely, or they would some would just like write it off as like, nope, not true, and just put that veil on.
Don't look up.
Yeah, don't look up. Don't turn on the TV. That's not real, and there are people that are like that. They want to live in their bubble, They don't want to believe something outside their door exists. And so it's like a child, I don't see you, so you don't see me, I don't see you, so it doesn't exist. That's not how life is, man.
Yeah. And I've thought about that before. What would religious people do if like aliens came down?
Yeah.
But then in like, I don't know how many years ago it was, and I forget who the Pope was at that time, saying that if there were aliens, the Pope would want to be one of the first ones up in space to go convert them to, his religion
or whatever. Yeah.
So in my mind, that's just the church getting people ready for the existence of aliens. Like they know.
Right. Well, it's like filmmakers, right? Ever since the 50s, 60s, 70s, all these movies that came out, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., right? A bunch of other films. It's kind of like them, telling the public, like, hey, they're here, like they exist, not like you think, but
yeah.
We're just giving you a glimpse into it's like readying us, right? So we're not as surprised.
Did you see that video that came out either last year or 2 years ago? This I guess was a Navy pilot. They had seen the UFO go from right here down underneath the water, and then like
and
I think
it was speeding under the water and then came back up. Yeah, and then with their cameras on board the plane, right? They like went to thermal, went to light, went to dark, and it was giving out certain signatures that I think they didn't we don't have right now, right? And the propulsion, there was basically no propulsion. Like it wasn't giving out a typical typical propulsion like we have in our fighter jets. It wasn't giving out any of that.
Yeah, there's no air even. Like in SpaceX, the rockets, they have air bursters to keep them like steady. It's nothing.
Yeah, there was none of that, and it was still going. I don't know, 100 miles an hour or something. I don't know, 500 miles an hour. Yeah.
So the only thing that I could think, and this is really crazy sci-fi, is like, okay, well, you don't need any type of propulsion system to just fall. Like, the speed of free fall speed. So maybe in some weird way, there's like a machine or there's a technology that says, okay, well, we can go down, like we can change the trajectory in which we fall based on turning this machine. Oh, and we could fall at free fall speed, but this way. we turn it upside down, we could fall at free fall speed, but upwards, and that's
Oh,
how they
cool.
could do something like that. Like, again, is that even possible? Like, probably
Yeah.
not. But alien technology, who knows?
Alien technology. Aliens.
Have you seen The Fourth Kind?
No, I haven't. I
It
haven't.
it came
Good.
out. Oh yeah, it was great. It came out in like late 2000s,
Mhm.
and it so the story goes, and it's based on a true story, and they have actual footage from where they it had actual footage from when the story actually happened,
Okay.
and it was in this weird town. I think it's called like Nome, Alaska, where
Okay.
it's you have to fly to get to because
Mhm.
it's there's like mountains and there's no roads.
Yeah.
And I asked two friends of mine. I just saw them last year. I asked two friends of mine how they would, if this was true, and like, oh, actually, yeah, we remember weird stuff going on because they were in like they grew up in the town like next over or something like
Mhm.
that. It's like, yeah, and their FBI actually did look into it, and it was a bunch of these disappearances.
Mhm.
And just watch The Fourth Kind. It's about a bunch of these disappearances, and they have video footage. I don't know how it's not a bigger movie. I don't know how it's not like a
I
two of
actually
them talk.
remember the trailer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember seeing the trailer, and it
Yeah,
looked
you see
really
like the
creepy.
owl.
Really creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
still have to see that.
but it's so good. It is so good. So yeah, it's about obviously aliens as well. It's The Fourth Kind, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Cool.
yeah,
There's a theory, since we're on the subject, there's a theory that, gray aliens,
yeah.
the big round heads, skinny bodies, right? There's a theory that they're time travelers, I guess. They come back in time and they are trying to like warn us of like where the direction the human race is going, because they are
So
so advanced in technology, right? They rely everything heavily on technology, and they're so smart. That's why their brains are so big, right? Um, but they're frail and skinny, and they need a certain type of, you know food, or something, ointment to like rub on their bodies to stay healthy, right? Stay alive.
okay,
Um, so it's like they came back. The theory was they came back in time to warn us, right? They're super smart. Their technology is advanced beyond, compare, right? It's Daniel.
Dan Lee's an army vet also, so it's
Cool. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, and going off into the fringes, right?
yeah, we're going
Um,
crazy here.
Yeah, but they're so far advanced, but they're lazy. Their technology made them lazy. They don't work out. They don't move around.
Yeah,
They don't walk, lift, whatever. And that in theory, that was the reason for their frailty, their
yeah.
skinny demeanor with huge head, because they're so smart, so advanced, but you know
Their bodies are weak. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
in Wally, right? Everyone's fat and overweight, and they're on these machines that do everything for them, and same with Idiocracy.
yeah. I mean, if you take a look at any type of like, and I'm not even talking about like movies. I'm talking about video footage of anything from people in like the 70s. They might not be jacked, they might not be super muscular, but
Mhm.
almost none of them are fat. A lot of them they're
So,
lean into like their 30s, and a lot of times now, a lot of people in their 20s they get pretty chunky, and
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
um it's like we eat so much, and I am 100% guilty of that as well. I am fat
Mhm.
AF right now, but
Yeah.
I mean I still work out, but I'm pretty
You
chunky.
are a beautiful human being. The Jedi mind trick.
Thank you.
You're a
Um,
sexy motherfucker.
but yeah, it's weird. Like as a society in like 30 years, 50, like everyone just got bigger, and I don't 100%. I mean, obviously, there's a lot better TV on now than there was 50 years ago, even 30 years ago. Um,
So, do you mean bigger as in like
like people just got
overweight, or
fatter.
like jacked, or
Like well, both. Like look, if you look
both?
at normal people on any extras in movies, or even just normal video feed of people like, oh, home movies, a lot of people were just lean,
Yeah.
even as they got older. And now a lot of people are not lean. Like there's a huge obesity epidemic in
Mhm.
like the last 30 years. People started getting pretty like even in He's called Mr. Fantastic. It's a movie on Netflix. Viggo Mortensen plays this guy that he raises his kids like almost in the woods, and like he teaches them like quantum mechanics, and he teaches them how to shoot, and they go into town, and his daughter goes like, "Why is everybody sick?" Because everybody where they went to, like the doctor's office, they were just fat. Everyone's just obese, and it's like, oh, call me out, why don't you, girl? Like, it's,
right.
So
I'll say
humanity's
definitely
changing. Yeah, humanity's definitely changing thoh.
And you know what? For the fitness side of the house of that, right? So we have supplements. We've had them for years, but the science is improving, right? And so also fitness itself is improving
A lot better.
exponentially. Yeah, it's like what worked in the 60s and 70s, 80s, it doesn't work today. Or if you're just lifting heavy weights, I mean, you can change it up. You do it this way, right? You do negatives, or you do pyramids, right? Drop sets. So there's so much to learn today with fitness and even nutrition, with all the diets, all the fads. You're like, don't listen to them. I would say my little chunk of advice for that is don't even care about, what the new fad is. Just go with what you feel, right? And how it makes you feel, right? And go with what you like. Mediterranean is great, and then you've got the New York diet, like high in fats and grease and all that. Yeah. But anyway, like Atkins, there's so many. Like don't get on the bandwagon just because this one thing came out and says, we know a secret, we have the one secret, ancient times, the Greeks, applied, blah, blah, blah. Stop right there. They're just trying to, sensationalize it just for you to get their product, do their thing, just find what works for you and stick to it, or, go out, branch out, whatever's healthy. Go with whatever's healthy, right?
Yeah.
No hydrogenated oils, right? Like
just egg whites. That's it.
Egg whites. There you go. No preservatives, or at least preservatives as you can use, as you can buy. Stop trying to eat from a package, and eat from the farm.
You mean MREs aren't good for you?
What? 13 years in, and I'm still eating MREs. But I'm harder with it though. But I will say, years ago, I got my cholesterol tested, and this was when I was eating MREs like nothing, everything in the package, right? Like nothing, and I was eating like 3 to 5 eggs a day, almost every day, right? Because I wanted to bulk up and everything, right? And I was eating a lot of cheese, butter, all that stuff, dairy. So I got my cholesterol tested, right? LDL, which is the low density, which is the bad cholesterol. Yeah. HDL, high density lipoproteins, the good cholesterol, right? And then total cholesterol. And so I think the max for total cholesterol is like 220. I was 223.
But how much of that was your HDL versus the LDL? Because my friend Lou has the same thing. He's got high HDL, but he's got the low L.
So my low density was pretty high though. It was very high.
Okay.
So you got and I was like, oh, I need to make a change, And so I would, and that's when I started to proactively look at the ingredients of everything, right? I would read labels, and a lot of stuff in MREs, man. I hate to say it, it's pretty bad for you.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Hydrogenated oils and all that fake crap,
Yeah.
Trans fat. For everyone watching, you see something with trans fat, you stay the fuck away from it.
Agreed.
It's
100%.
fake fat. It like lowers your good fat and raises your bad fat. It's fake. They have it in a lot of margarines today.
I don't know why I just don't get butter.
Yeah.
Like just no regular good butter.
Just regular bricks of butter, right? Yeah.
Those are great.
Salt and butter, milk, whatever.
Yeah. Poly's good. Monounsaturated fat, those are good.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of it's nutrition. Like, but I'm not gonna lie though. I love the fact that well, people in general started lifting, but girls started like back in the day,
Yes.
nobody had butts. Like nobody,
Right.
like guys or girls, the butts were just flat.
It just
Nowadays,
wasn't
everyone's
the
got that.
thing. It wasn't the thing. Yeah.
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 Nowadays, you got that bump, you got that booty. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That twerk booty, no.
yeah,
Yeah. No, yeah. And I was actually, when I was working out with my friend this morning, he's an Army vet as well. And we were just talking about this. We were, and there, so many guys, don't find girls that work out attractive, right? And there's a line, I guess, you shouldn't cross, right? Like if you look more like a guy than you do a
if
woman.
you're more jacked than your male counterpart.
Yeah, then and it's so vascular, veins popping out everywhere.
Yeah,
That I'm not gonna knock it. There are people that are into that find that attractive. And you know what? And if they're healthy, more power to them.
yeah.
More power to them, right? I am not knocking it at all. But
I see
like,
the veins in your biceps right there.
oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Um, and that means you're healthy. If you're vascular, you can
Yeah,
see veins. That means you're healthy. You drink a lot of water, which I do, right? Ton of water all day, every day.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring out the egg whites again. Like, yeah,
Hydrate.
hydrate or die, drill sergeant. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? Over the years, more and more, I have grown so attracted to girls that are like, just really fit, right?
Yeah,
Toned, muscular, just really fit. They don't have to have huge biceps, but if they work out and they look good, man, yeah, like
yeah.
it's
No, I love that.
I find it, it's attractive. And you know what? What's the main reason why we work out? To look good naked, right? No, no,
I
no.
I like punching
Yeah,
hard. Like
yeah.
that's one of my.
Exactly. To fight, to look good naked. One girl I met in the gym one time said, "Oh, she only works out so she can eat like crap." But or so she can have more cheat days, right? More cheat meals, whatever.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. And sure, like I eat so healthy. There are many times I just take, chocolate or a snack or popcorn, whatever, whatever. You need to have moderation, right? If you just eat nothing but health food, you're just gonna get bored and you're gonna get sick of it and you're
Yeah,
gonna stop. Everything in moderation, even moderation. You know.
agreed.
Yeah.
So that girl Natasha I was telling you about, she knew Sambo, like that Russian form of martial arts,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that was hot until it wasn't, because like she would,
Did she flip you?
yeah, she'd like sneak up on me in like the shower and put me in an arm bar. I'd be like, girl,
No, 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 no.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh my god, like that was,
Yeah. But I find that attractive too. If a girl takes some type of form of self-defense or fighting,
oh
jujitsu,
great.
whatever.
I never
Oh,
had to worry about her anywhere. Like,
exactly. Like I find that a turn on. If you can kick my ass, I find that a turn on because one, I don't have to ever worry about you, right? I can't be with you 24/7. So that
yeah,
means I don't have to worry about you, really. I mean, that there's a line though. You go over that line, you've got like three guys that try and do stuff with her or rob her, rape, rob, whatever. Or you've
yeah.
got some guy that with a knife, whatever. If she doesn't know hand to hand, what is she gonna do? So I mean,
Knives are
to a
scary.
point, right? To a point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, knives come at you any which way with a knife. It's like, oh god.
Yeah. Jeez.
Where?
But hey, I have to take a leak real quick.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Yeah, hydration.
I'll be back.
Well, hello everybody. It has been a while. Let us go through the weekend with Gator Roll. What's up, Louis Tamayo? How's it going? Ukraine strong, 100%. Obviously, we were both in Crypto Boy. Well, no, I don't know about you, but me and Paul were. Cheers to everyone that has been donating, that has been commenting, that has been here for a while. So I do have a couple of announcements to make that I'll make while he. Okay, I gotta go. Grab my phone. Yeah, phone is over here. Oh god, I lost the. Okay, okay. So I'm going to. Some of the announcements that we have is that I do have a. Let me exit. Oh, if everyone could smash that like button, that would be super fantastic. Smashing that like button is totally how is a free way to support the channel. And yeah, let's move on. We got. Oh, let me get that out of the way. We have Fanny Carbonell, who is a Harry Potter actress, coming on the podcast on Monday. We do have a big podcast next week with a special guest star on Tuesday. I will be on Orange Bag Lady stream on Thursday, so that'll be fun. This weekend, I'll probably be off just because it's the girlfriend's birthday, so we will do some fun stuff with that. No, that is not Hawkeye from the MCU. What's up, Dan Lee? Hope you're doing well. Favorite MRE. I'll save that one for him. They would like to. Oh, geez, those are so good as well. Those are so good. The vegetarian tortellinis are really good. I really enjoy those. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. Let me know how you guys are liking these type of podcasts. With people that don't. I will be doing a live tonight, a veve Omi live tonight. So I will be answering everyone's questions there. These 8 people that are here want to go join me tonight. I think that'd be pretty cool. Ooh, iCarly Gang returns April 8th. I'm not waiting to see that. Next out of here, there. Okay. Mine, yeah, probably vegetarian tortellini for me. Paul, what's your favorite MRE?
My favorite MRE, hands down, meatballs marinara.
Okay, that's a good one.
I have that in the back of my car as like an emergency.
Just in case.
Yeah, meatballs marinara.
Vegetarian tortellini's got some good sides. Like I like the tortellini, but then the sides are like the sides make the MRE. You know, if you have like a cookie, if you have peanut butter and like all the good stuff, it doesn't really matter too much what the main meal is. For me anyway.
Peanut butter. I definitely love the peanut butter in the MREs. Yeah,
so good. I make my own peanut. Like I just got normal peanut butter and some keto bread, and
nice.
That's my snack.
PB&J sandwiches, man.
Oh, I can't do the jelly.
A lot, all day.
Yeah. But, jelly gets a little too sweet for me.
Yeah, There's a lot of sugar in that.
Yeah, I mean, not that peanut butter doesn't have sugar. Oh, it's not that bad though. It's not bad.
Yeah, not like jelly.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
A buddy of mine from my old unit, he's vegan, and he survived a tour in Iraq on mostly peanut butter.
Oh, damn. I was like, how do you go to the Middle East and not eat any meat?
Yeah, no, he didn't, man. Whole tour in Iraq, whole deployment, and just peanut butter.
Wow. So there was like no goat, no lamb. There was no.
No, he was vegan. He didn't eat anything. Yeah. He didn't even rip open the MREs. He just had people send him like tubs of peanut butter.
What was his health like?
He's good. He's skinny but fit. He runs a lot.
Okay, so
yeah.
I don't know. I've tried vegetarian a couple of times, and I've tried it every which way. I've tried it with like a high fat, high protein, low carb, high everything, low fat, high carb. Like I did like a factor tree of which combination and it's not like I tried them for like a week. I tried them all for like a month each, and every single time I just felt lethargic. I felt so, and I was still eating fish. Like I wasn't. Yeah. It's not like I wasn't, and I don't know why. Lack of animal meats make me lethargic and not good.
Yeah. I like animal meat. What can I say? And you have to, if you're vegan and you're trying to match the amount of protein, like if you're like bodybuilder or just trying to stay fit on a vegan diet, the amount of protein, like vegetable protein, right, plant protein that you need to intake, it's crazy. As opposed to just both plant and animal based protein.
Yeah, because animal protein you just need like maybe this much meat or whatever, but plant you need a lot more.
You need so much more legumes and tofu and blah. It
just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, maybe money if you buy a lot from Sprouts or Whole Foods.
So I've done this 3 times. Once in Kuwait, where I was never over like 180 pounds until I went to Kuwait. I was like 173, and I was eating like, because you have 3 breakfast at midnight. where I would go into work.
Mhm.
From like 10:30 to like 12:30, you have like midnight meal, which is breakfast.
Yeah.
And then I would go for a second breakfast at 4 a.m. when the DFAC opened. And then right before it closed, I would go at 8 to get my third meal. And
You
then
sound like a hobbit. You sound like a hobbit. Second breakfasts,
so I
supper,
would
tea.
have 3 breakfasts before I would get off shift. And then
Yeah.
I would get off shift. I'd go eat like a cup of vegetables, and I would eat like some like grilled chicken or whatever. But
Yeah.
during those 3 breakfasts, I had oatmeal and hard boiled eggs and tuna, and I had 18 eggs a day because I had 6 hard boiled eggs each
Yeah.
meal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Damn.
it was so I got huge. I got up to like 196 at one point, so I was jacked AF. It was ridiculous.
Nice.
Um,
Is it
it was
hard for
weird.
you to keep? Is
Yeah.
it hard for you to keep that on? If you get big, is it hard for you to keep it on?
It, if it's a lot of muscle, like 2019 I was in like the best shape of my life. Well,
Mm.
as far as like muscular, um, because a lot of it was lean muscle. I didn't have like a ripped 8-pack, but I had abs.
Mm.
And it was just
You were chipping away at the keg to
yeah, it was yeah.
pack. Yes.
Like but that next year in 2017, I was down to 167 again. I because my body just naturally wants to stay lean, but to
Mm.
get like even like this, which is not huge at all, it's eating a
Oh,
lot.
come
Like
on. You're modest. You're big, man. You're
oh, thank you. But yeah, it's I would if I could stay this muscle and lose like maybe 12 pounds of fat, I think I'd be in pretty good shape. I'd be about 188 plus 190, and I'd get rid of because a lot of the fat does come for me. It's in sort of my gut.
Have you tried fasting?
Yeah, I do. I do intermittent fasting every day. So.
Good. Yeah, I do that, and I've seen some changes. But mostly feel changes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel good now. I only just started dieting again like last week.
Mhm.
But even with that, I feel really good. So.
Good. Yeah, I think everyone should implement some type of fasting in their daily life. Yeah, either like once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, every day. I try not to eat after 5 or 6 p.m.
Okay.
And then like 5 p.m. to like let's say 9 o'clock the next morning. 15, 16 hours. That's a good time. Great time for your body to to go through its motions. And
do you ever do fasted sprints?
ever do what?
Like when let's say you finish eating at a certain time at night, and then you wake up the next morning like 10 12 hours, and then you just run and you do sprints fasted. I love doing those because there's nothing in me, and it's just pure trying to get
Oh yeah, your
off
body goes through the process that a marathon runner goes through. You have nothing left, and then it starts burning the fat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that. It feels so good.
Yeah.
And you have to dig deep for that because there's no energy like to burn off. Like it's got to burn off from fat, so you got to dig deep.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I haven't. Yeah, I can't say I've sprinted. One morning just wake up after a long good fast and just sprint. Yeah, I haven't done that, but I do. I try to do PT in the morning or physical training for those who aren't, and with the lingo, the military lingo. Yeah, I try to do PT in the mornings. Yeah, I mean sometimes even in the evenings, really hard session helps sleep very heavily, and it's awesome.
It is.
And for anybody on a fitness journey now, anyone watching, sleep is so important. A lot of companies they promote supplements and fitness. You need to work out and then eat right, blah blah blah. But they don't promote sleep. That's the best recovery.
Yeah.
It's not just a day off; it's sleep. Your body's doing everything it can during the night to heal itself.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah, it's so important. So important. Don't say I'll sleep when I'm dead, or oh whatever, I'll sleep later. There's no sleep debt. You can't get it back.
Yeah.
It's gonna shorten your lifespan the more the more you lack sleep. Oh,
I
are
know.
you are you
Because I did that for years. In 2017, after I got out, in May, I started a business, high risk lending, and I put my all into that, and I made a decent amount of money. And then I started, that high risk or that high end collectibles business where I was buying Pokemon cards. So I had two businesses, and in 2020, I started making YouTube videos. And then randomly, I had a girlfriend. I don't know how I did that. And it just, for like a good 2 years, I was sleeping like, I was working like 15, 16 hours a day, and I was maybe sleeping 6 hours a day. Like, so it was, yeah, not including the travel time. So I know I have shortened my life by a lot. But I'm chilling now. I'm just doing my thing. I mean, I am still doing a lot of YouTube and making a lot of videos, but I'm trying to find that balance.
You get more sleep?
Yes, now I'm getting. I get a minimum 7 hours now. Like I do really well with sleep.
Yeah, that's great. 7 hours. I can get 7 hours. That's fine. 8 is like awesome, right? But 7 hours, great.
Yeah.
And then of course, as it goes down, I can operate in 4 hours, but speech, maybe thoughts,
I can only do that for so long.
Goes out the way. Yeah, you can only do this for so long until everything starts to go downhill. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna fall asleep around you. I'm gonna put that gas mask on me and fill it up.
That'll be good. Oh, yeah, I'd love to serve with you. I'd love to go out on a. I mean, we have different jobs, whatever. But if it's just like perimeter checks, doing whatever, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, man. We should go on patrols or something.
I dig that.
Have a whole week to hang out, just work out, talk,
pull ups and just sit up,
cosplay.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to go to Dragon Con this year. I want to get big again for Bane, but I want to be lean enough to be like Brown Wolverine. And I don't know what I'd do, because Wolverine I don't think ever had like super long hair, so I might have to get a haircut. Okay. It's got it's so long.
I know. It looks good, man. Look at that. You look like a contractor. Just beard a little more, and then fucking go overseas.
Yeah. I had a much bigger beard recently, but I had a wedding to go to last month, so I was like, all right, I'll shave it.
Yeah. You're like, let me not look like a shitbag. No, no.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the photos, so hopefully they're not too bad. Yeah.
I've seen one of your Wolverines before. It looked good.
Oh, it was 2019. It was great. It was super fantastic.
Yeah. You pulled it off.
I think, yeah. So it was I did it actually twice, because one was for Comic-Con in 2019, and one was for Dragon Con. Yeah. I'm trying to find it right now. I don't. Okay. Well, here's one of them. Whereas I'm next to a pink Chevrolet.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah, man. Love it.
I still have those claws, or these are different claws. These are like actual, like,
those are the legit ones. Yeah.
That, like, if you enough force, they'll go through a person. So got it for some self-defense.
Yeah,
But the ones at Comic-Con were like little short, like plastic Wolverine.
I've seen somebody who made when they cosplayed as Wolverine, they made foil claws.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Okay, yeah.
I had some White Claws, and I think it was in 2019 as well. Yeah,
you said White Claws.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
Give me your man card. I hope you don't.
Dude, they're so good.
They're
so good.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I had the White Claw in with the other claws.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great shot, man. What's
your next cosplay?
Oh man, next cosplay. Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't cosplayed in a while. Man, I have friends that are professional cosplayers, and they make their own suits and stuff. Like my friend Allison, she and I have discussed a Batman Beyond cosplay.
Oh.
Yeah,
you would look good in that suit. Yeah,
and I've been wanting to get a Spider-Man suit for a while too, because I do have that body type, 5'9". muscular or fit build. Yeah,
Yeah.
athletic build. Um, Man, but yeah, I think anything soon, maybe for Denver Comic Con this year. I don't know. I could do another Doctor Manhattan. You know,
That'd be cool.
yeah. Have you seen my Doctor Manhattan?
No, I haven't seen yours. No.
No. Okay.
I love that movie though. Watchmen was so good. That
Yes.
was
Yes.
great.
It's funny that they had to use like three different body types, three different people for Doctor Manhattan. Did you hear about
Which
that?
one was the naked one? Because that was
Um,
hysterical.
I think that was Greg Plitt. He's a very famous bodybuilder. He died some odd years ago.
Oh
Yeah,
damn.
he was helping film a movie and he got hit by a train. Like it was on a platform and he fell in the tracks.
Oh
Uh,
Jesus.
so sad, so sad. Yeah, but he was an army. I think he was a ranger. I want to say he was a ranger.
Oh wow.
But yeah, but he was very high speed, very motivated and ambitious. I don't know if this title surpassed him. Like somebody else got this title, but he for the longest time he had the running title for most photographed on a fitness magazine
Oh
cover.
wow.
Yeah, he had that title. Greg Plitt, Plitt. He also had a wingsuit because he had something like 1,200 skydives or something,
Oh,
1,200 jumps. It's something ridiculous. Yeah, but he was awesome, man, and the world lost a good guy, good man.
rip. Never come an F in the chat to pay respects.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
would be a good Punisher. You look like Frank
yeah,
Castle.
yes. I actually did a Punisher a few years ago. My
Nice.
buddy Esteban was the yeah. That was a fun shoot. I wish I got more of a like high and tight, at that time because I
Yeah.
had an almost like pseudo like emo thing kind of going, but I kept everything else short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely love to do
Yeah.
another Punisher shoot. I'll definitely bring that up here. I'll show your audience. Yeah, and I definitely want to get the rack behind him and put all the guns and everything on
Oh,
it.
that'd be great.
Yeah. So this shoot was prior to the release of oh shit, I didn't realize how, the time, time flies when you're having fun, right? With old pals. But I do have to go soon. But
Oh
this
yeah,
shoot,
yeah. You got to go in a couple minutes.
yeah, this shoot I did prior to the release of the second season of the Netflix show,
Yeah.
and just to build some hype for it, and it came out really well. If I can get to it.
I love those Netflix shows, all that Marvel stuff, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher.
Yeah, they were great. They were great, and me and my friends actually met the guy who was Luke Cage. He
Oh,
wore,
legit.
yeah, and I was the black suit Daredevil right before he got the red suit. I had that on, and my friends were dressed as Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, and so we were all defenders. Me too, picture with them. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So this is one shot.
Nice.
Yeah,
You look good.
nice. And yeah, my friend got it in mid drop with the magazine.
That's awesome.
I hit the magazine release, and yeah, it was a
Yeah,
good
you look
light.
great in there.
Thanks, thank you. Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, Punisher would be good. That'd be good. Oh, Captain America. I've wanted to do a Captain America cosplay for a long time. Real titanium shield, the whole shebang.
That'd be great. He's fun too. He's
Yeah.
so jacked. He's so big. To try to
Oh, I
get
know.
that
Yeah,
it's so hard.
yeah, I know. I gotta maybe bulk up a little more.
That's so rough to do. But listen, thank you for coming on. We had about 2
Thanks for
hours
having
here.
me.
What
Yeah.
what is the one last thing that you want to tell people? Like if your message to the world.
My message to the world,
Yeah.
man, be a good human being and be a good person.
Yeah.
Do better. There are too many people that are just sitting around being lazy, taking up space, and they're not, whether you contribute to society, that's your play, right? But just do better, be better, like get off your ass, you get healthy,
Yeah.
right? spend more time with family and friends, I don't know, volunteer, do some volunteer work. I also do volunteer work with Team Rubicon. It's owned and operated by vets, and they go all over the world and all over the U.S. and they do a lot of disaster relief efforts, right? Disaster cleanup. They provide humanitarian aid. They do a bunch of stuff. They helped with the Afghanistan resettlement. And they do a bunch of workouts or rucks, ruck marches with everybody. So Team Rubicon, if you're a vet or not, their motto is badass military, badass service members and kick-ass civilians. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking of volunteering, yeah, just be a good human, be a good person. Don't step on people to get where you need to or want to be.
No.
Stay motivated. That's hard, in certain times, like current times. Stay motivated. Make goals, right? Make goals. Don't make them too easy that you're always reaching them, because then they're too easy. They're not challenging you, right? And then don't make them too hard where you can never hit a goal, because then that's just no fun and you give up.
Yeah.
You get in the middle. Just make goals, and that'll contribute to your overall well-being, your mental health. Because you hit a goal, you're like, yes, you've achieved something, right? You've had a success, and then all right, moving on to the next, right? Yeah. So make goals, do and be better, and be a good human. That's all I got.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for this. I know you got to bounce. So you have a good one. We'll talk soon. And thanks for sharing your thoughts on everything. All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Randy.
All right,
Love you, brother. All right.
Indeed.